Have you ever looked for peace in the wrong place? We chase silence in the world, hoping that if everything outside of us finally calms down, we'll feel still inside. But real stillness doesn't begin with silence outside, it begins with awareness inside. The ancient sages knew something we've forgotten. You don't need to escape the world to feel the divine. You just need to sit still, breathe, and remember where to look. Because deep within your body, there's a pathway, a subtle thread of energy running through your spine. It's not made of muscle or bone, it's made of light. And when you rest your awareness there, even for a moment, something awakens. Not something imaginary, not something spiritual in a vague way, but you, a deeper you, a quieter you, a you who is fully present and fully alive. You don't need to master advanced techniques. You don't need a mantra or a ritual. All you need is your breath, your body, and a willingness to turn inward. In this video, I'll guide you through a gentle practice to help you visualize and feel this sacred thread so you can begin reconnecting with the energy and presence that has always lived inside you. So take a deep breath and begin to come home. Before awareness can rise, it must first return. Before we can touch the subtle, we must soften into the simple. And it begins always with the breath. Not the breath you think about, not the breath you try to control, but the breath that moves through you naturally without effort. The breath that was there before you woke up this morning. The breath that will still be here while your thoughts come and go. That breath is not just biology, it is presence, it is rhythm, it is life itself. If you want to connect with the deeper dimensions of yourself, if you want to awaken subtle energies and walk the inner path, you must begin with the breath. Not because breath is magic, but because breath brings you home. So let's begin. Find a comfortable seat. Let your body feel grounded, your spine tall but not tense. Close your eyes gently. Let the outer world fade just for now. You are entering a sacred space, your own awareness. Now notice your breath. Don't change it, don't fix it, just feel it. Feel the way air enters through your nose and exits through your nose. Feel your chest rise and fall. Feel your belly respond. You are not breathing, you are being breathed. Let your breath become your anchor. Let each inhale gather your scattered thoughts. Let each exhale release tension. Let breath become your bridge from mind to body, from doing to being. Now, gently bring your awareness to your spine. Begin at the base of your tailbone. Slowly in your mind's eye, trace the spine upward, vertebra by vertebra, until you reach the crown of your head. Don't rush. You are not just imagining bones, you are sensing the vertical column of life that holds you upright, that connects your body to the earth below and the sky above. This spine is not just structure, it is symbol, it is the axis of your experience, the center line of your being. And within that spine, there is a channel, a thread. The ancient texts describe it as finer than a lotus fiber. Imagine that Noah thread of golden light running from the root of your spine to the crown of your head. It may be faint, it may be clear. Don't force it. let it reveal itself. See this thread glowing gently in the center of your spine, not outside it, not on the surface, but deep within, like a beam of morning light seen through a still lake. Let your breath and this thread begin to work together. As you inhale, imagine light traveling up the thread. As you exhale, imagine it softening, flowing even more gently. There is no right way. Let sensation guide you. Let curiosity lead. And as you breathe with this image, notice what shifts inside you. Does your mind become quieter? Does your heart feel more open? Do your thoughts slow down? You are not doing a meditation. You are becoming the meditation. You are no longer watching the breath. You are the breath. You are no longer visualizing the spine. You are within the spine. You are inhabiting the center of your own awareness. And if your thoughts wander, that's okay. You are not failing. You are human. Simply return. Each breath is a chance to begin again. This simple act breathing with awareness, visualizing the spine, resting attention on the subtle thread awakens more than stillness. It awakens presence, it awakens light. It opens a door to parts of yourself you may not have felt in years, or perhaps ever. Sometimes what rises is peace, other times emotion, sometimes nothing at all. It doesn't matter. The value is not in what you experience, but in how you meet it with patience, with presence, with love. This visualization is not about imagination, it's about intimacy. It's about forming a relationship with your inner body, your subtle self, your sacred channel. Over time, you may begin to feel subtle energies moving up and down this thread. You may notice warmth, tingling, vibration, or perhaps just a sense of being more here. These are signs not of progress, but of presence. The more you notice, the more you return. And the more you return, the deeper you go. This is the beginning of something real. And it all starts here with your breath, your spine, and your willingness to listen inward. Right now, you are not searching, you are not seeking, you are sensing. You are sitting in the center of your being, watching a golden thread rise and fall with every breath. And in that, everything is already whole. Now that you've settled into your breath and begun sensing your spine from base to crown, you're ready for the next step, seeing the thread of light that runs through you. But don't be fooled by the word see. This is not about eyesight. This is not about imagination. This is about perception through stillness. The thread exists. It always has. But most people never notice it because they're looking outside themselves. Or they're too busy trying to understand with the mind what can only be known through presence. So we begin gently, slowly, with reverence. Bring your awareness back to your spine. You've already visualized the column itself. Now go deeper, right into the center, the exact midpoint, not to the left or right, not to the front or back. Now, right at the core. This is where the ancient yogis described the Sushumna Nadi, the central channel of life force. Imagine this space not as empty but as radiant. Within that column, visualize a thread, so fine it could disappear in a breath, so luminous it glows even in darkness. It is not wide, it is not flashing. It is a line of subtle living awareness. Your awareness, it might feel like a golden filament or a silver ray or simply a sense of clarity of something alive and delicate at your center. Let whatever rises be enough. You're not trying to build the image with effort. You're letting it emerge, like a candle slowly coming into focus in a dim room. The more you rest, the more it appears. Now, stay with it. Don't chase the sensation. Don't tighten around it. Just remain with soft, open attention. And notice something. When you place your awareness on this inner thread, your thoughts naturally begin to slow. Why? Because this thread is not of the thinking mind, it is of consciousness itself. You are shifting from surface perception to source perception. The thread of light is not just a symbol, it is an access point, a bridge. When you see it, truly see it, with your inner attention, you begin to tune your whole being to a higher frequency, a frequency of clarity, of presence, of wholeness, and this is where transformation begins. As you continue resting with this light thread, you may feel subtle warmth along the spine. You may sense a flow of energy rising and falling, or you may simply feel an inexplicable calm, like something inside you has stopped rushing. These are not goals. These are signs that your awareness is deepening. If distractions come, let them. Let sound pass. Let thought pass. Let discomfort pass. You are not pushing anything away. You are simply choosing to stay with what is steady and quiet and true. The more often you return to this inner thread, the more real it becomes. You start to feel it not just in meditation, but in daily life. You feel it when you're walking, when you're listening, when you're resting. It becomes a subtle anchor, reminding you that you are more than your thoughts, more than your roles, more than the rush. You may also begin to notice that this thread connects more than just your spinite. It begins to connect your experiences. You start to feel a sense of continuity in your being, as if something has always been holding you together beneath the noise. That something is this thread. Some traditions say it is the bridge between the personal and the universal. Others say it is the path through which the divine flows into human form. But labels don't matter. What matters is your direct experience. What matters is that you feel it. Let the light thread be your teacher. Not in words, but in presence. Ask it nothing. Expect nothing. Just keep returning. It may take days or weeks or months to feel it consistently. That's okay. You are not building a skill. You're building a relationship with your own consciousness. Over time, that relationship deepens, and in that deepening, something subtle but profound happens. You stop needing proof. You stop needing to understand everything. You trust what you feel. You trust what you are. You begin to live from the thread. Not in isolation, not in detachment, but in deep connection to yourself, to others, to the moment. So, as you finish this part of the practice, remain still for just a few breaths more. Sense the thread gently from base to crown. Let it pulse with light. Let it shimmer with awareness. Let it be enough. When you open your eyes again, carry that thread with you, not in thought, but in being. Let it guide your posture. Let it soften your voice. Let it remind you again and again that the light you've been seeking has always been right here in the center of your spine, quietly shining. There comes A moment in every meditation, quiet, ordinary, and yet profound, when the mind begins to wander and you are faced with the choice. Will you follow the distraction or will you return? It's in this moment that the real depth of the practice reveals itself. Because it's not about perfect focus, it's not about getting every breath right or keeping your posture still. It's about learning the art of staying off, gently, lovingly, returning to what is subtle and true. When you focus on the thread of light in the center of your spine, you may feel something at first, a warmth, a vibration, a hum of presence. But as soon as you feel it, the mind often tries to grasp it. It wants to hold it, understand it, turn it into something it can name. And in doing so, the sensation slips away. That's okay. That's normal. It's not a failure. It's an invitation. This is where the next insight from the Vigyan Bhairava Tantra meets you. Stay with the sensation, not by clinging, not by pushing, but by resting your attention again and again on what is subtle, on what calls you inward. Think of this thread like a candle flame in a still room. If you stare at it too hard, you blur your vision. If you look away, the room darkens. But if you simply allow your gaze to soften, the light remains steady and calm. That's what you're doing with your awareness. You're learning to rest in the subtle without dripping, without analyzing, without expectation. So sit again, let your breath move naturally, let your body be soft, and bring your awareness gently to the center of the spine. Find the thread, find the glow, not by searching hard, but by softening. Let yourself notice any sensation that arises there. It might be a tingling, a wave, a quiet warmth. It might not even feel physical, it might feel like a presence or an absence. Don't judge it. Don't chase it. Just stay. And when your mind drifts with it, will gently bring it back, not with frustration, with kindness. Every return is a strengthening. Every moment you choose to stay is a step deeper into presence. This thread is not static, it responds to you. The more you rest with it, the more it opens. It's not something you control, it's something you meet. And as you stay, something changes not outside but within. Your nervous system begins to calm. Your breath becomes slower, smoother. Your thoughts lose their edge. You start to notice spaces between the thoughts, spaces between the breath, spaces that were always there, waiting. In these spaces, awareness expands. You begin to feel yourself not just in the body, but through the body. The spine becomes less a structure and more a passageway, a living bridge between what is visible and what is unseen. Some people report feeling waves of bliss or deep peace or even emotional release, but these are not the goal, these are byproducts. The real treasure is the awareness itself, the unwavering presence that watches all of it, without grasping, without resisting. Staying with the sensation teaches you something life-changing. You don't have to chase feeling, you don't have to escape discomfort, you don't have to fix every part of your mind. You only have to stay present with what ice and presence itself will do the transforming. This practice rewires your relationship with attention. Instead of scattering your energy outward, you learn to gather it inward. Instead of seeking stimulation, you begin to value stillness. Instead of reaching for meaning, you begin to rest in direct experience. And the more often you stay with the thread, the more natural it becomes. You begin to feel it not just in meditation but throughout the day. While walking, while talking, while simply sitting with yourself, it becomes a subtle companion, a quiet reminder of the light that lives within you, not as a concept but as a felt sense. So if you are ever wondering what to do in meditation when the thoughts are loud or the sensations fade, remember this. Stay with the sensation, not with force, not with control, but with love. Even one breath of presence with the inner thread is enough to shift your state. Even a few seconds of resting in that awareness is enough to remind you, I am here, I am whole, I am not my thoughts. I am the space they rise in. Let that be your truth. Not just in this practice, but in your life. The thread doesn't just live in your spine. It lives in every moment you choose to return to now. It lives in every moment you remember who you are beneath the noise. And so, once more return, feel the subtle current, stay, rest, breathe. You're already home. There's a kind of progress you can measure, steps taken, goals reached, milestones passed. And then there's a different kind, the quiet kind, the invisible kind, the kind that happens within you, slowly, softly, without needing to be seen. This is the path of subtle transformation, and it's where the Vigyan Bhairava Tantra gently leads you, not through force, not through conquest, but through trust. Because this practice, the one of resting your attention on the luminous thread within's not dramatic. It doesn't always come with fireworks or visions. Often it feels like nothing is happening at all. But that's only because transformation at this depth doesn't move through noise, it moves through stillness. This final insight asks something radical of you, something rare in the modern world. It asks you to trust the subtle. You're not told to push harder, you're not told to achieve more. You're invited to relax, to allow, to surrender to something deeper than the mind. Something that was never broken, never busy, never in need of fixing. Sit with that for a moment. You're being invited not to do more, but to be more. That thread of awareness you've been sitting with fine as a lotus fiber, glowing quietly in the center of your spine is not just a focus point, it's a mirror. It reflects your true nature, quiet, present, vast, aware. But to truly feel that, to live from it, you must release the need for instant results. You must give up the idea that transformation will look a certain way, and instead trust that the very act of turning inward is the transformation itself. Imagine dropping a seed into the earth. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust the darkness. You water it with attention. You give it warmth through stillness. And one day, something breaks the surface. Something green, alive, undeniable. Your inner journey is the same. Every time you sit in meditation, you are planting a seed in consciousness. Every time you breathe with awareness, every time you return to the subtle thread, you are watering that seed. And though you may not see it growing on the surface, something is happening deep beneath something real. This is the work of trust, of surrender, of staying close to the mystery without needing to explain it. The modern world tells you to move fast, to get somewhere, to prove your worth. But the inner world asks something else. Be here, feel this, trust this. There's nothing to prove. There's only something to remember. And when you truly allow yourself to rest in that remembrance, you begin to see signs not in flashes or visions, but in how you respond to life. You become less reactive, less rushed, more present, more patient. You notice the space between thought and action, and you begin to choose differently. You meet your emotions with gentleness rather than resistance. You begin to listen more, speak less. You begin to move through the world with a kind of quiet confidence, not loud, not performative, but grounded, rooted in something real. This is the gift of trusting the subtle journey. It doesn't just change your meditation, it changes your life. Because when you no longer need things to look spiritual, you begin to actually live spiritually. You no longer seek silence, you become silence. You no longer chase peace, you embody peace. And all of that begins with a willingness to sit, to breathe, and to rest in the thread of light within. Even when it feels faint, even when your mind doubts, even when nothing seems to happen, especially then. Because that's when the deeper part of you, the part that watches, that waits, that knows, begins to stir. It's not your job to awaken that part. It awakens on its own, in its own time. Your job is only to stay present, to stay honest, to stay with the thread. Over time, your trust deepens, your practice matures, and one day you no longer wonder if you're meditating correctly or if you're progressing fast enough. You just sit, you just breathe, and you know that something ancient is unfolding through you, not because you forced it, but because you finally made space for it. You became quiet enough to listen. You became still enough to feel. You became gentle enough to trust. And in that trust, you found something far greater than technique or theory. You found yourself, not the self shaped by stories or fear or ambition, but the self that was always waiting beneath it, all quiet, aware, whole. This is the subtle journey, and it has already begun. What you just experienced wasn't just meditation, it was a remembering of breath, of body, of the thread of light that's been quietly running through you all along. Maybe it was subtle, maybe it felt like nothing, maybe you had moments of deep sensation, or maybe just a flicker of stillness. Whatever your experience, honor it, trust it, because this journey is not about achieving, it's about returning. You don't need to feel something dramatic to know that you're changing. Every time you come back to your breath, to your spine, to the thread at your center, you are creating space for something sacred to awaken. And the more often you return, the more natural it becomes, until this presence, this softness, this subtle inner knowing begins to flow into every part of your life. If this meditation resonated with you, I invite you to share what you felt in the comments below. Your reflection might be the light someone else is waiting to see. And if you're walking this path with me, consider subscribing and turning on notifications, because we'll continue exploring these ancient doorways, each one a step deeper into your inner world. There are still so many techniques ahead, so many whispers from the Vigyan Bhairava Tantra waiting to guide you gently, lovingly back to yourself. Until then, return to the breath, return to the thread, return to the quiet center within you. You are never far from it. You are it.